Alright, today in this video I'm going to go over how to connect a Juniper 4200 series switch to a Cisco switch, and I'm going to take you through my home lab. So what I have in my home lab, or actually in my home, is I have my regular internet connection from my modem. It goes to, it's not a 2811, it's actually a 3825 ISR router, and it's running a wireless LAN controller, it's running CME, and it's also doing routing for my entire network. Then I have a 3750, and that's my main switch. It's also a PoE switch, so I have like wireless access points going off of it. I have a few in my house, and then it goes into my little test lab area, which I have a server. It's an ESXi host. It's actually a Dell T610, and there is where I have multiple connections. I have about 6 connections to my server, and then I wanted to daisy chain off of my 2960G to my Juniper 4200 series switch. And the reason why I put it here is because I wanted it in my little data center area, which is just a closet that has my stuff in there. But I wanted it to stay in this area. I didn't want it to connect to my main switch. So I'll show you the configs between those two devices right there. So, but yeah, let's get through it. And I'll show you some of the websites that help me get through this, because you guys know I'm pretty fluent in Cisco, but I am a beginner at Juniper. So, but I'm getting there with more practice. So let's get into it. How did I actually configure it? What is needed to get basic services running, telnet, things like that. So let's go into my Juniper switch. Let's shrink this. And see here, I was actually playing with the banner and learning how to make the banner. But when you telnet in, whether you telnet or SSH, you got to log in. Now, if you are going to telnet in, you cannot use the root password. This is by design. The root account and password is not allowed to use telnet. It's only made for SSH. So if I wanted to do that, I would have to SSH in instead of telnet in. So let me bring that up one more time. So we'll SSH port 22, 192.168.5.5, open. There's that self-signed cert from the Juniper switch. And then now I could log in as root and put in the password. And there you go, it works. And as you can tell, I was playing in with a login banner as well. But that's it. But I want to use telnet because I want to show you that I created a username. Let's go back in. 23.192.168.5.5. Seth with the password of this. Okay. All right, now I'm in. One thing that I want to show you is the show configuration, which is equivalent to show run in Cisco. Okay. Let's bring this out of the way. So you can see here, when you do a show configuration, it's a show run, and then you get to see the little sub-menus that the Juniper CLI has. So if I wanted to change the host name, I would actually go into configuration mode, go system, and then question mark my way, and then type host name. So, but the first thing you want to do when you want to set up like telnet and SSH services is you want to go into system, services, and then pretty much enable the services that you want, okay? Even with web management. So what I would do here is go into configuration mode, and I would say edit, and then system, hit question mark, and then what did it was like services. Yeah, then I'd go into services. Okay. When I do edit system services, now I am under the services menu, which I had right here. So if I wanted to enable Telnet and SSH, that's what I would do. So when you want to change something, you have to use pretty much the set command. Set, and then what do you want to set? I want to set up Telnet, question mark. And then I could apply a rate limit, a connection limit, authentication order. So if I do authentication order, hit question mark, it could give me more options. So this plus sign right here in the Juneaus, that means that there's more commands underneath it. All right. So, okay. Also, if you want to run a show command, you have to go into, crap, I forgot the mode already. Basically, there's two modes in Juneaus. There's the configuration mode, which the mode I'm in, or I am in this greater than sign. I forgot what mode that means, but it pretty much means user mode or enable mode that is equivalent to the Cisco iOS. So this is where I run all my show commands, show configuration. But if I am in configuration mode and I want to do a show configuration, it won't allow me to because there's no show commands at this level. What you have to do is to say run show configuration, and then it runs. Okay? All right. Now, if you want to telnet in, and I'm going actually from the configuration down, but if you want to telnet in, you have to create a username and with the class of super user. Okay? So that's what I did. That's what I showed you when I first logged in. So you go system, login, user, create the user, and then give it the privilege, and then give it a password. Okay. Now what else do I need to do here? Okay, setting up trunking. Okay, this is what you have to do to trunk on a Juniper device. Okay, and the way you do this is you go into edit interfaces and then G0/0/23. Okay, now I am under this mode. And what unit 0 means that is the main interface. If I do unit 1, that's like a sub interface on the Cisco iOS. So everything that's on the main interface is going to be unit 0. Then we are going to go under family Ethernet switching. So edit unit 0 family Ethernet switching. And then underneath here, I have to hit set first. Set. And then here are the commands on the physical interface itself, similar to switchport mode access on the iOS, switchport mode trunk. And that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing setting the port mode, and I want it to be a trunk. Notice my options are I can make it an access port, or I could even make it a tagged access port. All right. So all you have to do there is whatever physical interface you want it to be a trunk, you would say set port mode trunk, okay, which is set right here. Then what VLANs are allowed to traverse it? That's where after you set the trunk mode, hit question mark, notice that there's the VLAN there. So what VLANs do you want to traverse this trunk? Okay, go under members, and then you could say all VLANs are allowed, or it even tells you what VLANs you have already created, and then you can just put in the name of it. Okay, so I just want all VLANs to traverse it, so all I would have to say is all, which I have set right there. And I'm just practicing. I'm not worried about security at the moment, so it's okay. I just want everything to work, and currently it is. And then what do you want to set as the native VLAN ID? So this is the the native VLAN like we know in the Cisco iOS. Okay? So that sets up the trunk. Now what we have to do is set an IP interface so we could actually manage it and set up a gateway. Run show configuration. I don't know how to skip down into the configuration like I do in Cisco at the moment. I'm still learning. Okay, this right here. You have to set up an interface VLAN on the Juniper device, just like how you would do on the Cisco iOS, which actually, let me pull up that server switch, and we can compare. Show run pipe begin interface VLAN. Ugh. Okay. So this right here is equivalent to this right here. Okay? So create the VLAN and then create the interface. And the way that you create VLANs in Juneaus is it's actually just set VLANs. Set VLANs. Oh, what mode am I in? Oh, I'm in this mode. See, the good thing about Juneaus is that it actually tells you what mode you are in, so I can't just apply a command. So let's go end. No, it doesn't like that. There's a command that takes you all the way up to the root. Let me hit Control Z. Nope. Exit, exit. Okay. So now I should be at the root level, and I should just be able to do set VLANs, hit question mark, and then create your VLAN. Whatever you want to call it. All right, I'll just create a test VLAN and give it the VLAN ID of 2. Okay, bam. All right, now if I do run show configuration all the way down to the bottom. Oh, I didn't commit it. Commit. Okay. Show configuration, and there is the new VLAN. Okay. So create the VLAN, whatever you want it to do, whatever you need it to do, and I created my management VLAN, which is VLAN 5. Okay. So I would say set VLANs, manage, the name is management with the VLAN ID of 5, and then I want to tie that into my layer 3 interface. Okay? Now, how you do that is, where is it? It is right here, and it is under interfaces. So you would say interface VLAN unit 5. So let me go ahead and do that. Set interfaces VLAN, and then what is the unit? It should be that, right? Yeah, unit 5. Unit, and then 5 for that interface. You could actually create another one as well. Question mark your way out, and then family. Yep, family. The reason why you do family is because you could actually do this for IPv4 or IPv6. So this is going to be an interface VLAN for VLAN 5, and it's going to have It's going to be used for IPv4, and then we give it the address of whatever it's going to be, okay? So go ahead and put your IP address in, hit enter, and then make sure you hit commit, okay? All right, so that takes care of the interface VLAN right there. If you notice, if you go under the VLANs, you could actually see you have to go back into the VLAN and tie it into the interface. So this is where you go back and you say VLANs, management, and then question mark your way, and you set the layer 3 interface for VLAN.5. Okay? All right. Now setting up the gateway. You have to go up to the root level and say routing options, static, and then give it the default gateway of 0000 with the next hop of the actual gateway. Okay? So if I do that, if I say set routing options, I think it's route. Nope. Edit routing options, question mark, I'll set or edit. Eek, man. Static, there it is. I have to set a static route. Getting used to this, So edit, go into static, hit question mark, and now I should be able to set, here's my route. Set route, and then what is the destination, or what is the network? Since this is just a layer 2 switch at the moment, everything is going to go to the next hop of match accept. What? I don't know what happened here. Next hop, and then give it the actual gateway. Okay? So that should be everything. On the Cisco side, it's just going to be another trunk config. Show interface status. So this right here, G107. Show run interface G0/7. And you can see here, I don't have anything special on it. It's just a trunk, and the native VLAN is 1, as you can see here. Exit, and show configuration. The native VLAN is 1, okay? So they should match, although I don't have LLDP running. Yeah, that's how I connect my two devices together. So I wanted to do this video, one, to help me, but also to show you what you need for initial setup on your devices. If I were to go back here, let me write this down so I can conclude. So on the Juniper switch, you need to create the VLAN, right? So whatever VLAN, then create the interface VLAN. Go to the port and tell it to be port mode trunk. Okay. So interface VLAN has the IP. That is the management VLAN. Make sure you trunk it. Make sure you set the native VLAN ID. Native VLAN. What else? Enable the services. So system service, SSH, Telnet, Now, if you do telnet, make sure you create that username. The username with the privilege level of, I think I have super class or super mode or something, super something. I don't know what that is. And then set the password. Then you have to, since you already created the layer 3 interface, then create the static route of 0.0.0.0/0 with the next hop of whatever it is, next hop, and then the IP of it. Okay, and then on the Cisco switch, it's just going to be something simple as switch port mode trunk. Okay, so that is the basis of it. I didn't mean for this video to be too long, but you saw my configurations on my switch, on my Juniper switch. So you could always go back and look at my configs, and I'll go slowly, and actually I'll do that right now. Run show configuration. So you guys can see my commands that I've been doing. All right. This is the root password. This is the user that I created. This is the services that I enabled. This right here is actually an access port that I'm testing right now. But my trunk port was this right here. Okay. This right here is my layer 3 interface. This is my static route of my default gateway. And here are my VLANs that I created. All right. Now, one thing with Juneaus, after you type a command, it doesn't automatically kick in. You have to pretty much save your config and then you commit it. All right. And then if any of your configurations that you did don't check out, Juneaus will spit it out and say, no, this configuration is incorrect. Go ahead and fix it. Okay? So that's it. I hope this was informative for you and you enjoyed it. So I'd like to thank you for viewing. One more thing before I let you go. I want to show you a good website that actually helped me do this. And it's actually a pretty good website. It's called the Juneaus Workbook. And they have little workbooks here. And they go pretty much step by step on what you need to do. So I use this as a guide along with Googling some things too. But yeah, this really helped me out here. You know, how to configure local accounts, how to do, there's one here for creating a layer 3 interface. This is pretty much what I was doing, and then just following this and using this as a guide. All right, so I recommend this if you're just starting out, Juneaus Workbook. I'm sure there's other workbooks out there, but I use this and it worked for me, so I wanted to share. So that's it. All right, carry on.